Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the Final Fantasy XII Ultima project, where we went ahead and we finally went and hardened everything we did last time. This underdress is now good and done. It's nice, it's in here. However, we kind of have a major problem that occurred as a result of this hardening. So let me go put her down here, and we're going to go over what went wrong, because we're going to have issues. So on its surface, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's rough around the edges, yes, but if we look closer at this, I want to zoom in just a little bit where we can see the light bouncing off. We did get air pockets and stuff coming out on here. So I put this in for the same time frame I usually put this into an oven. When we wind up with little air pockets on the front, and on the back we got a little crispy on the back with a couple larger air pockets out here. Now, the good thing is, on this level of stuff, for this hardening, this actually won't make any difference, because all we're going to see is this little bottom fringe, and that's it. So, let's go back this way. So, what our problem is going to wind up turning into with this is when we go and do the next hardening, so we're going to put another layer of clay on top of that, we run a very real chance coming forward of now having that happen on the upper layer as well. Now, the reason for that is, back here one time, the reason for that is the oven I'm using is only about yay wide, and front to back, I've kind of put it as close to the front as I could, but the heat source is like right here. It's right near where the back is, so even if it's low to the ground, it's still close enough to the heat source to cause issues. So the way I can see it, I have two ways I can kind of solve this problem. The first is going to be put it in the oven for significantly less time. Usually it's around 4 to 4.5 minutes on one side. I flip around, have the back face it, and have the back face it for about 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, depending on what I'm doing. So I can go for less time than that, and that'll have less chance of the next layer having issues. The other is I could finally get myself a heat gun, and rather than stick in an oven, just kind of hold the heat gun around here as I go, and that way I can keep the heat source kind of a little more in control of what I want it to be. And whoop, we actually don't need this down here. We can take that out. We don't need those anymore. Now, I'm probably going to need a heat gun anyway, because if I'm thinking of doing the wings, now remember the wings are going to be coming out kind of like this way out there. There's no way these are going to fit inside the oven to begin with. So I probably need to pick up a heat gun anyway, just to harden these things as they go in. So this may, depending how long, I'm probably going to order it. I guess I'm going to order it after I kind of finish doing this, and depending how long it takes to come in, it may affect the scheduling of this. Probably not so much, because I think it's going to be several more episodes. One for the dress today. I also have detailing, then we have the arms to do. And then, so there are a couple little things to do, but yeah, it's one of those things that we need to keep in mind, because that is going to become a problem very quickly. That said, the way we're going to be going about our dress is, once again, I got a couple of these guys kind of ready to go. And it's going to be kind of similar to last time, where we kind of put this up to where we need. I can kind of hold it. I'm just using the back because the back is a lot easier to kind of figure out right now. We take this, I can kind of score a piece out to height, because again, we're going to have this layer stands a little bit above. Does that side image help? Yeah, you can see kind of the lace sticks out below. So if we want this to kind of come down like so, trace up, and we can cut out that kind of piece, and there we go. So while the camera is doing some weird things right there, I've already kind of at least started pre-cutting a larger section to fit on here, and you can see as it goes on, that kind of gives us our length for the upper part of the dress. Now, I didn't cut this whole thing to size, and I'm going to guess this whole segment is going to be I'm just doing a quick demonstration of what's going to happen. Then I'm probably going to have a really quick kind of montage of things as I kind of do this part. But from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a line. Whoop. right up. And we're gonna, as you can imagine, we're starting the lower part of our dress first, and then we're gonna work our way up into kind of the part up by the body there. I'm gonna give myself a nice kind of straight line on this. I can cut that off. I can give myself kind of a nice straight line down here. This way, if we do seams, we're not going to have any kind of weird bumps on the seam. I can then have another flat piece that can overlap this. And now that this is hardened, I can kind of really push in and smooth those out nicely. But for now, we're just trying to get a general form on here. And I can take a little more off of this. And I'm going to want this to, I don't necessarily want this to go up the body itself. Right now, this is still the full thickness. The one going up the body, I can make thinner than this. So this is just enough to kind of get down here, and then I'll have a blending layer that can then come up and in. So if I have a little ridge down here, that's going to be 100% fine. And we just kind of take this, blend it in, and as you can see, I still have just a little thick down there. Let's try to thin this up as much as I can so that when I try to blend all this, it actually can blend nicely. Like I said, this is just kind of do one of these sections on camera, and then we'll kind of take it from there. It does still take some finagling to get this all to work. And then if I have that done, I could always come back and take some of these guys. If I want to put extra ridges or something in, I can make additional ridges to kind of bring this a little bit away from the lace on the bottom. So we're going to hold on to these, the ones that I'd made before, just so I can then, re-slide those in. And I can make a little kind of stuff like that and have it work. But generally speaking, it's now going to be, a lot of just laying this on top, smooth things. It'll kind of smooth things off, take a lot of these rough edges off, and it should look good at the end. So that is that. And now I'm going to assume we're going to be doing a lot of jump cuts from here. But I'm just going to stop talking at this point. So here we go. And there we have it. The lower dress is starting to look pretty good. It's not complete. We're not going to get the lower dress complete there until those arms and hands come in. And I'm not doing those this session. So instead, we're going to take this top part off, and we're going to start working on the upper dress here. Get the rest, like the torso and the chest and all that, kind of covered up. So start making it a little more presentable. And to do that, I have a much thinner piece here than I had before. I think I was 7 millimeters thick for the base, and here it'll be it's like 4 or 5 millimeters thick for this top sheet. And we're just going to get this on, wrap it around, and you're going to see some magic happen. Once I get it around there. If I'm pointing something up, not sure what. Now I'm recording this after the fact, doing a little kind of switcheroo going on. And just kind of pushing it into place, kind of wrapping it around the back. And then just cut off the excess on the bottom, just enough so we can kind of blend in without, again, adding any more thickness than we absolutely need to put on this thing. We will put on thicknesses where we need to, but we don't want to have thicknesses where we don't. So it's always good to keep things thinner where possible, and we find out when we need to add more in the future. So just get this scrap off of here. Kind of push everything together. Make sure it's all kind of tight in there. Cut the seam down the back. So again, we don't need double layer of stuff back there, so we can take all that off. Really kind of push it in, keep it as thin as possible. And then we just start blending that down into the base. Just like that, kind of have a dress going. Camera's doing camera things, but we do need to trim the back a little bit. Now the back's going to be completely covered when the wings go hook on there, but we're still going to make it look good as we can right now. It's part of the deal. We need to do that. But now you can see we now have a dress. Pop the head on, it starts to look like something. Now, I started adding just a couple of these folds here, just kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. But again, this is more like a temporary thing that I put on just until the hands and the arms kind of actually grip the fabric itself. So I'm going to skip by a bunch of this part real quick. I just want to get an idea of what it's going to look like when we started doing this. So I can skip ahead pretty soon. I swear. All right. So what we will be doing, though, is we will be adding a couple of the folds going up the sides of the body here. Because if you look closely at the image on the side, it is extremely folded, kind of it goes up and wrinkled. And because this is a lot of kind of monotonous work, we're going to speed through this real quick. Enjoy. And there we go. It's going to take a little bit of touching up, but that's kind of the basic part I got on camera. And then while I was kind of looking at that, I realized we have some weird dips and divots going on in the back, so we can fill those and kind of smooth things out to make all this stuff look a little neater. Because we don't need weird bumps on there. And as we do on one side, we need to do on the other. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of really quickly pop our way through this one. Sorry, there's gonna be no music interlude this time. We're just gonna jump cut our way through. But yeah, we need to keep things kind of symmetrical. So if we do it on one side, we definitely have to do more folds on the other. That said, I'm looking at this now. I think the folds added a little bit of volume to her waist here and her torso. So I might be taking some of the clay off again, kind of between this section and the next. We'll see. I'm gonna let it sit here for a little bit, and I'll think about that because it did add a little bit of mass to the torso area, and she's so incredibly thin in that image on the side there. So I'll play with things as we go. But at least we got the start going on this. It's kind of our game plan. Oh, there we go. We're just about finished off on this. Getting in there. These last couple little things. Last couple folds kind of smoothed out. Yeah, back definitely needs a little touching up, but back's also the part no one's ever going to see because A, it's in the back, and B, it's going to be covered with those wings. But no, it adds a little bit of detail there. Pop the head on, and yeah, we're definitely in a better place now than we were last time, even with the crispy underlayer. But that's kind of where we're going to be ending off this one. I have a couple little trim jobs I'm going to be doing here to kind of even things out. But for the most part, that's where this session is going to be kind of ending itself off. And next time, I think I'm going to be picking up on the arms and hands. I want to get those in so I can finish doing the fabric detailing in the front because I can't really add undulations until I know where those hands are gripping the dress. So that's kind of the next thing. And then after that, we go and start adding the trim work on here. And then other than the wings, the sculpture part is kind of done by that point. So we're almost there. Yeah, kind of floofing up a little bit, but again, these folds don't really mean much until I get those hands holding onto the fabric. That I can actually bring those folds all the way up into where they need to go. But I did decide just to kind of floof it up a little bit just to get an idea of what this is supposed to be in the end. Although it is definitely going to be up for change come next session. Little touch up down here. But otherwise, yeah, that's where we are, and that's where we're gonna end this one off. So until next time, enjoy.